Hello everyone! My name is Mai Linh and recently I've just got an 8.5 in IELTS. And ever since I've received tons of questions about how to achieve such a high band score and how long does it take. So, I have decided to make this video to shed some light on how I did it and how you can do it too. But before we get started, let me talk a little bit about my starting point, okay? So I was a dân chuyên ngữ and everyone just automatically assumed that I had a well-established foundation of grammar and vocabulary. But to be very honest, they were not as helpful as I thought it would be, as I just clammed up and broke into cold sweat when I had to talk to foreigners. Later on, I went to Foreign Trade University and studied a major completely unrelated to linguistics, which is International Business Economics, or External Economics as some might call, which is a wrong translation of kinh tế đối ngoại, just so you know. So, how did I get from that to 8.5 in IELTS? First of all, I have to find my motivation. I've seen so many people complaining that they are either lazy or unmotivated. But I like to point out that perhaps you are overthinking. Ask yourself, what do you usually do when you surf the internet? Or what aspects or areas do you always find yourself coming back to on a daily basis? The first thing that pops into your head will be your answer. And that can be your motivation to learn English. In my case, I am obsessed with makeup. And there is so much information about the beauty industry on the internet for free. The catch here is that all of them are in English. And that has propelled me into learning the language. The second point I'd like to talk about is that you have to read a lot. I know this is like an overused advice, but this is also single-handedly the most ignored advice ever. Some of you may say, the CNN or BBC is way too difficult and way out of my league. My advice to you guys, start small. Take myself as an example. I started reading news on newspapers or magazines for teenagers, such as Teen Vogue or 17. Since the topics are mainly about pop stars, movies, fashion and lifestyle, etc., vocabulary is very simple and so is the grammar. And after I've gotten used to the writing styles of native speakers, I slowly move on to more academic, more formal newspapers such as VN Express, International, the Guardians or the New York Times. And the topics that I read also slowly branch out into economics or politics, social issues, environment, technology, etc., etc. And I always keep a small note with me so that I could write new words or advanced sentence structures. The third thing that I did was listening and shadowing. So, shadowing is a term used to describe the act of imitating or copying. And that is exactly what I did. So, I watched the video, I mumble after them, and then I stop it and try to recreate or try to imitate the pronunciation and the intonation of the voices, record myself, and then compare them to the originals. And then I fixed my mistakes over and over again until I was satisfied with the final result. So, what types of videos do I watch? For starters, I love watching YouTube, especially makeup tutorials from other famous YouTubers such as Zoella or Michelle Phan. I also watch vlogs or videos from other famous YouTubers such as PewDiePie, Troye Sivan, Fine Bros, or BuzzFeed. The variety of accents helped me a lot in getting acquainted to the different accents of IELTS. After having gained a decent knowledge of the spoken language, I move on to other types of videos such as technology reviews or natural science or just TED Talk videos. The last step that I did was to hone my reflex. Those are some really big words right there. But don't be disheartened yet, because it is actually very simple. Think and talk to yourself in English. I do it out of instinct, even in public. And sometimes I have to look around and see if anyone has noticed my weird self-talk. Anyway, here's how it goes. I go out and I see a random person, literally. And I immediately come up with a full-on 250-word essay on how and why we should protect the environment. In my head. Yeah. And I think this is a really fun way to brainstorm your ideas and build your vocabulary about common topics that could appear in IELTS Speaking Part 3 or IELTS Writing Test 2. And here is my final result. So I've got an overall band score of 8.5 with a full 9.0 in both listening and reading. 8.0 in speaking was good enough for me. Could be better if I spent more time practicing. Apparently, deciding to take the IELTS on a whim with an 8-day preparation is not a good idea at all. Not recommended. So my writing score was the lowest, 7.5. Partly because I had nature's call at the end of the test, and mostly probably because of my limited English skills, I guess. But 8.5 in IELTS is considered good enough, yeah? Of course, it's not as easy as it sounds. There are lots of difficulties you could stumble upon, such as loss of motivation or lack of time, not knowing where to start. I will try to address these problems in the upcoming videos, so stay tuned. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it, I promise. And if you find this video helpful, please like and share and hit the subscribe button down below. This has been Mai Linh from A-Land English, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye!